Welcome. Today, we are going to test your metal, your knowledge of metal, that is. I mean, think about it. From cars to computers, metals are literally everywhere. But how much do you really know about them? Let's find out with the Awesome Metals Quiz.
Yep, we're talking all about metals. They pretty much build our world, right? From the phone that's in your hand to the tallest skyscrapers in the city. But what is it that makes them so special? Are you ready to find out if you're a metals expert? Let's do this. Okay, first up is round one, metal fundamentals. Before we can get to all the really cool stuff, we gotta make sure we've got the basics down. So let's see what you know. And our first question is a great place to start. So where do we even find metals? I mean, are they made in a factory? Do they, I don't know, grow on trees? Take a second to think about it. Where do they actually come from?
And the answer is in ore. If you got that one, nice job. We literally have to dig metals out of the earth. See, ore is just a special kind of rock that's packed with valuable minerals or metals. We have to mine it and process it to get all that good stuff out. All right, next question. Why do we choose a specific material to make a specific object? I mean, really think about it. Why is a frying pan made of metal, but the handle on your spatula is probably plastic? What's the thinking there? The answer? It's all based on its properties. Every single material has its own unique set of skills. You could almost call them special abilities, and we just choose the material whose abilities are the perfect match for the job we needed to do. Simple as that. Okay, last question for this round. What are noble metals? I bet you've heard of these before. You see them in jewelry all the time, and they're worth a lot. But what exactly makes them so noble? Well, what makes them so special is that they don't rust and they resist corrosion. Think about it. Metals like gold, silver, and platinum, they're really chemically stable. They don't react much with the world around them, and that is why they stay so shiny and valuable for ever. Awesome job on round one. Now, let's kick it up a notch with round two, super properties. This is where we get into the really, really cool stuff, those amazing powers that make metals so unbelievably useful to us. Okay, first question of the round. Which property allows metals to be hammered into different shapes without breaking? Picture a blacksmith hammering away at a piece of glowing hot metal, shaping it into something new. What's that ability called? That superpower is called malleability. It's such a great word, isn't it? And it's the reason we can take metal and shape it into all sorts of things, like, say, the body of a car. All right, next up, what does it mean when we say metals are ductile? This is another one of those key properties. It's kind of similar to malleability, but this one's all about stretching instead of hammering. Any guesses? It means they can be stretched into super thin wires without snapping. That's ductility for you. And it's a good thing too, because without it, we wouldn't have any of the electrical wires that power, well, everything. And hey, speaking of wires, which metal is an excellent conductor of electricity and heat? This property is totally essential for, electronics, but also for cooking. There's one metal that's super famous for this. Can you name it? That would be copper. That's why it's used for pretty much all our electrical cables. Copper is just an amazing conductor. It lets electricity and heat flow right through it super, super easily. It's absolutely the go-to metal for the job. Okay, here's a classic trivia question for you. What is the only metal that is a liquid at room temperature? All the others are solid, right? But this one is the exception. What is it? The answer is mercury, the only liquid metal at room temperature. And get this, it melts at a super chilly -39 degrees Celsius. So yeah, for us, it's pretty much always a liquid. Let's move on to magnets. Can you name two metals that are magnetic? We use this property for all sorts of stuff, from fridge magnets to giant electric motors. Just give me two.
Did you say iron, steel, nickel, cobalt? Any two of those, and you're absolutely right. Iron is probably the most famous one, and of course steel is too, since it's mostly made of iron.
You are crushing it. We are now on to our final round. Round 3, when metals change. This one is all about what happens to metals when they have to deal with the world around them. First question of the round, what is corrosion? I'm sure you've seen this before, on an old gate or maybe some old pipes. It's that process that makes metal look kind of weak and worn out. But what is it really? Well, that process is called corrosion.
It's basically when a metal starts to weather and get weak because it's been exposed to air and water for a long time. It's a chemical reaction, really. Okay, here's a tricky one for you. What is the only metal that rusts? Now hold on, you might be thinking, didn't we just talk about this? Well, yes and no. Rust is a very specific kind of corrosion, and it only happens to one metal. Do you know which one?
It's iron. Rust is that reddish-brown coating you see on old iron things. And here's the thing to remember. All rust is corrosion, but not all corrosion is rust. Rust is that very specific, flaky, reddish-brown stuff that only happens to iron. All right, final question of the whole quiz. How can you prevent iron from rusting? This is a super practical question. We know what happens when iron is exposed to air and water. So what's the logical thing to do to stop it? Well, there are a few ways. You can cover it with paint, cover it with plastic, coat it in oil or grease, or even cover it with another metal that doesn't rust. The whole idea is simple. You just have to create a barrier to keep the air and water out. And that's it. That's the end of the quiz. So, how'd you do? You know what? It doesn't matter what your score was. Great job. You're now officially a metals expert. But hey, before you go, I have one last challenge for you. Right now, wherever you are, just look around. Can you spot 3 things made of metal? And for each one, can you name the special property that made it the perfect choice for that job? Is it its strength? Its malleability? Is it a good conductor? That's your real takeaway for today. Seeing the science in the world that's all around you. Thanks for joining me, and keep asking questions.